Good afternoon and welcome to the Amazon Meeting Center. I hereby call to order the 64th annual meeting of the Downtown Seattle Association and Metropolitan Improvement District. We're here today for an annual report on the work of the DSA and MID. And this event is billed as half program, half party, and we promise it'll be just that. With that intro, how could it not be? The last time many of you were here might have been for a vaccine or a booster shot. Thank you, Amazon, for leaning in and making more vaccines available for our community. And thank you for sharing this beautiful space with us today. I'm delighted to be here rather than via Zoom, like we've been for the last couple of years. There's energy in the room, and there's energy in our downtown. We've all sensed it growing over the past few months. I've felt it, and I think it feels great. So on that note, let's raise our glasses and toast to this great city of ours. Cheers. Downtown is this region's economic, cultural, and entertainment engine, and it's running a little stronger today than it was a year ago, and thanks to all of you. That's worth clapping for. We all know that downtown has endured significant challenges during the pandemic, but with the support of our members and MID ratepayers, DSA is helping drive downtown recovery. We also owe our thanks to the nearly 100 mid-funded ambassadors who have worked to keep downtown cleaner, safer, and more welcoming since 1999. You're going to hear a lot more. You're going to hear a lot more about their work today, but now we're going to thank them. Thank you one more time to our ambassadors from the Clean Team and Community Safety and Hospitality teams. Thank you for your hard work and dedication to downtown. Later, we're going to recognize our Ambassador of the Year. It's always special, and in particular, my favorite part of this event. You'll hear more about the MID's investment in downtown's recovery and the MID renewal effort from our Ratepayer Advisory Board Chair, Lisa Nitza. DSA President and CEO, John Scholes, will detail the ways in which DSA and MID are driving recovery and our priorities for the coming year. And as DSA members and MID ratepayers, you all are an integral part of ensuring downtown emerges stronger than ever. Remember, we're all in this together. And as we begin this year's program, I'd like to briefly reflect on the progress we've made over the past 2 years to respond to calls for racial justice and equity in our city, our state, and our country. DSA leadership and the board have taken a hard look at where we've been, where we can improve, and how we can ensure we're a more diverse, equitable, and inclusive organization now and into the future. Recognizing the board's role in driving change, we formed a DEI committee to inform and lead this work. I'd like to thank co-chairs Mari Harita and Ben Franz Knight of Seattle Kraken and Shields, Oblitz, and Johnson, respectively. And our committee members, Mark Barbieri of Washington Holdings, Marilyn Boss of Zurich, North America, Michelle Merriweather, Urban League of Metropolitan Seattle, Fred Rivera of the Seattle Mariners, and Sung Yang of Pacific Public Affairs. Thank you all. One of the committee's first recommendations was to step back and revisit the fundamentals of any nonprofit organization, our mission and vision, to ensure they speak explicitly to our goals of inclusion and equity. The changes might seem subtle, but the intent is very powerful. DSA's mission is to create a healthy, vibrant downtown for all. Our new vision statement reads as follows. Downtown Seattle is a thriving, inclusive, global economic center that acknowledges its past, embraces the future, and reflects and celebrates the diversity of the region. The Downtown Seattle Association is the leading advocate and steward of a dynamic, evolving, clean, safe, and welcoming urban core that is easy to get to and through and is a place where everyone has opportunity and feels they belong. Organizationally, we're committed to diversifying our leadership and board to hold up perspectives and voices that have not always been heard. We still have a ways to go, but I'm proud of the steps we've taken to this point and look forward to reporting on more of what we're focused on as we go forward. Today's annual meeting is made possible through generous sponsorships and the support of many sponsors. I'll name them all and then we'll hold our applause to the end. First, today's presenting visionary sponsor is Urban Renaissance Group. Our influencer sponsor is Amazon. Partner sponsors, Nitsa Stegan and Seattle Children's Research Institute. Our live music sponsor, Selin Construction. All 10 of our steward sponsors you see listed behind me. Our media sponsors, the Puget Sound Business Journal. And we have 30 corporate seating hosts as sponsors today as well. Thank you for your support. I'd like to acknowledge some elected officials and community leaders who are with us today. We have State Representative Noel Frame, King County Council Member Jean Cole Wells, Seattle City Council Member Andrew Lewis, our new Visit Seattle President and CEO Tammy Blunt Canavan, Deputy Seattle City Attorney Scott Lindsay, Seattle Director of Department of Construction and Inspections, Nathan Torgelson. Thank you all for coming. And on the screen behind me, you'll see a list of names of the individuals who are completing their terms on the DSA Board of Directors. Please join me in thanking them for their service. Next, I'd like to introduce our incoming board members, starting on July 1st, and we'll hold our applause to the end of the list again. Jared Axelrod, Senior Manager, Public Policy, Amazon. Amanda Cruz, Director and CEO, Seattle Art Museum. Don Davis, CEO, Community Passageways. Colleen Echohawk, CEO, 8th Generation. Maya Mendoza Ekstrom, COO, Seattle Sounders. Mai Noonan, Managing Director, Deloitte. Dustin O'Quinn, Chair, Immigration Law Practice at Lane Powell. Eduardo Peñalver, President, Seattle University. And Joelle Baraquel Tan, Executive Director of Wing Loop. And welcome to our 68 new and or returning DSA members you see on the screen behind me. It's an impressive list and a diverse group of businesses and board members. Thank you all, and I look forward to working with you in the coming year. And my last thank you, a wholehearted thank you to our DSA, MID, and Commute Seattle staffs for making this event happen today and for making our downtown a better place. Thank you.
Please welcome Urban Renaissance Group founder and CEO, Pat Callahan.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see everybody here and relatively spaced out. We seem like we're doing good. So good afternoon. On behalf of the team at Urban Renaissance Group and Downtown Seattle Association, we welcome you. URG is delighted to be the visionary sponsor for today's annual meeting. I've had the honor of serving on the DSA board for 20 years and serving as chair in a very eventful time in the early 2000s when the civic discourse was about a tunnel and a monorail. We met the challenges back then. I do think light rail and a good bus system, we made the right decisions. Well, we're facing challenges today, and we'll make the right decisions here again today. Before we go into the challenges, I just want to say a few words about Urban Renaissance Group. We call it URG. URG is a full-service commercial real estate company. We founded in 2006. We invest, we build, we operate. Through the property we acquire, develop, own, and manage, we create places that inspire and connect. I'm sure a lot of the architects will appreciate that in the room. Places that build strong, healthy, vibrant, and sustainable communities. We believe in the power of placemaking. We achieve these results by investing in great people, finding and creating great real estate, and partnering with organizations that share our passion for elevating places to an exceptional level. DSA shares these principles and puts them into action. Progress is made daily. As evidence of progress, I want to mention that the tax revenue generated by downtown Seattle is a meaningful economic contributor to the overall city of Seattle. In fact, 50% of the city's overall revenues are generated by downtown Seattle. That's an important number to keep in mind. As more and more people live and visit downtown, we continue to welcome workers back to the heart of the city, and it's essential that it's welcoming, clean, safe, and vibrant. But as we all know, there are lots of challenges right now. DSA needs and deserves the support of everyone in this room. We can make downtown Seattle great. We can overcome the challenges we face. Fortunately, we're well positioned today to tend to this growing downtown and the array of issues we face because of the vision DSA had in 1999. That's when it founded the Metropolitan Improvement District, the MID, through an ordinance with the city of Seattle. The MID is funded by 6 downtown neighborhoods. It supports downtown ambassadors, the clean and community safe programs in the hospitality program. It supplements and supports Occidental Square and Westlake Park. It supports seasonal programming and activation of numerous public spaces throughout downtown. All of this is even more important today than it was when the MID was founded in 1999. What's more, the MID has dramatically changed lives. As a second chance employer since its founding more than 20 years ago, we can confidently state that the MID has helped hundreds, if not thousands of people by providing a job, a helping hand, and a second chance. And that part of the MID is not probably understood widespread in this community, and such an important part. Here's to these successes and all those of the past. Thank you.
I was looking for a job. I was struggling with homelessness at the time, and you know, it was great to finally get the phone call from the MID telling me that I had an interview. I came in, I talked with the supervisors, and I kind of have to say I kind of aced the interviews. Now, every day I show up, rain, cold, heat, it doesn't matter. I'm still gonna be out here cleaning, come to work every single day, and we do what we have to do. So they see us out here doing that. The store owners see us out here doing that. They look out their window, and the salons, the restaurants, they all see us doing what we have to do. So it's real nice to let them see us every day and let them know that we're doing the best we can to make sure that they're presentable. I always get, a good job, thank you, It's been looking great for the last couple months because that's what we do is at the MID, is we strive to make it look this good. I finally found my path and I'm trying to stay on it.
I'm a recovering alcoholic. Been through many years of homelessness. A buddy of mine works here, and when I got out of treatment, he told me that this would be a great opportunity for me in my recovery. I started working here about 2 years ago and quickly learned to love the job. A big part of my recovery is helping people in need in recovery, and this job affords me ample opportunity to do that. It's very fulfilling for me to know that all the struggles and all the pain and all the heartache that I went through has a meaning now. You know, that heartache was for a reason, so that I could help somebody else not stay in that heartache and that frustration and that pain. If it's just helped one person, it was worth it.
I'm a track operator. You know, I hear a lot of times I couldn't do that job. You know, I went to prison for 23 years. I had life without. The governor gave me a second chance at a clemency. My cousin works here, so he told me they will always give you a second chance here. You know, as long as you want to work and you want to better yourself. So that's what I wanted to do, and I've been with the MID for 14 months now. I feel like it's not much of all the damage I've done, but I'm doing little by little to try to make amends. It's very enjoyable when citizens walk up to you and tell you, hey, thanks for the work you're doing, appreciate it. You know, it makes you feel good. You know, it makes you want to keep going every day. I will tell anyone that needs help or needs a job that if you want to work and you don't mind working, the MID will give you a chance. They take care of you. Everybody's got the same goal in mind. We all want to see Seattle be Seattle.
Please welcome Mid-Ratepayer Advisory Board Chair Lisa Nitsa.
Good afternoon. It is an incredible honor to be here with you today as board chair of the MID. Honestly, where would we all have been over the last couple of years without the MID and its fabulous ambassadors? Each year at the annual meeting, we report out on the work funded by ratepayers within the Metropolitan Improvement District, and we share a lot of data. It's pretty evident, though, as you just saw in the video, that the numbers don't begin to capture the total impact that the MID's having. For more than 2 decades, investment from property owners within the MID boundaries, that's from Denny Way to Pioneer Square and from I-5 to the waterfront, has helped provide cleaning, safety, hospitality services, along with downtown events, park and public space management, marketing, and more. The intent for these services and this investment is to supplement and enhance, not replace, services provided by municipal government, but instead to partner with municipal government. Over the past 2 years, we've seen how the pandemic has affected our downtown, as it's done to urban centers throughout the world. And we've seen how critical it is for the private sector to be invested in the stewardship of downtowns and taking action to support their renewal. Over the past 30 years, business improvement districts across North America, like the MID, have become critical entities in revitalizing our cities and urban cores, making them more welcoming, interesting, dynamic, and enjoyable for all. As we emerge from the pandemic, the role of business improvement districts is more critical than ever before, and I am absolutely convinced that downtowns that have a strong partnership between the private and the public sectors will be the downtowns that recover the fastest. The pandemic has presented historic challenges for our downtown and downtowns across the world. Fortunately, the MID emerged in a strong financial position, collecting more than 98% of the total assessments it was due, showing extremely strong support from building and property owners downtown. And we did not take on any debt. We stepped up our provision of services and, most importantly, adapted them to the needs of the urban core during this very difficult recent time. We then created strategies for aggressively supporting downtown's continuing recovery over the past year and in moving it forward. With MID funding, the DSA embraced and stepped up into the challenge to lead in downtown's recovery. Last summer, the MID board approved investing more than $3 million in a multifaceted recovery strategy, in addition to what the city and other partners invested. That led to more events to draw people back downtown, art installations to beautify empty storefronts, and public and private spaces. Also critically adding more safety patrols, cleaning shifts, and additional equipment to allow our ambassadors to cover more ground more quickly. We still face a number of challenges, and that's why earlier this year the MID board stepped back to fully evaluate our services and investments, and to ensure that we were keeping pace with the evolving needs and conditions downtown. John will detail some of the changes we made in his remarks. This is one of the benefits of business improvement districts that are governed by the private sector. We can move quickly to adjust and respond as needed with input from stakeholders like all of you. As ratepayers, property owners invest in these efforts because they're vital to a vibrant and healthy downtown. If you've ever walked downtown before 6 a.m., that's before the ambassadors begin their work each day. And then you loop back later in the morning after they've been at it for a number of hours. You can see the before and after scenes. I'm sorry, I was speaking to ambassadors over here and I didn't realize there was a whole nother group of you guys over there. So thank you. You've seen clear demonstration of what downtown sidewalks and alleys would look like if not for the daily work of these amazing people. Their cleaning, their coordination, simply critical. There's more than 20 years worth of proof demonstrating the community benefit of MID programs, with DSA managing the daily operations. So, the MID reauthorization process kicks into gear over the next couple of months, with property owners receiving petitions of support. This is a big deal, and we need all of your help in making this process a huge success, and early indicators suggest widespread acknowledgement of how important the role of the MID is to the downtown. To renew the MID ordinance and keep its vital services alive, property owners representing at least 60% of the total assessed value will need to sign petitions to communicate their support for the MID to the city. Our goal is to submit petitions to City Council. Where are you? Councilmember Anderson, there you are, okay. To that guy and others. Our goal is to submit petitions to the City Council and Mayor in the first quarter of 2023 and for the city to act on a new ordinance to renew the MID in May of next year. Ratepayers will be asked to renew a program that I'm convinced is absolutely critical to a clean and welcoming downtown and critical to our recovery. I want to thank the MID Renewal Committee, led by property owners, for their diligent work on this effort. All of you here are going to have an opportunity to provide input on MID programs and services in a survey that will be soon out in the field and also at an upcoming public meeting that will be held virtually on July 14th. The MID Ratepayer Advisory Board will be responsible for approving its business plan moving forward. And I want to take this moment to acknowledge the board, an absolutely terrific and dedicated group to work with. First, thank you to our outgoing board members. They've completed their terms during a critical juncture in downtown Seattle. Thank you all. Now I want to introduce our new board members, please hold your applause until the end. Jenny Dorsett, Vice President of Operations, Hudson Pacific. Jeff Drager, COO, Seattle Art Museum. Steve Emery, General Manager, Madison Marquette. Reza Marashi, Director of Government Relations, Kilroy, Lars Pedersen, General Manager, Hotel Andra. Sabrina Villanueva, Senior Director of Property Management at Kleiss, and Michael Walsall, General Manager, Hotel 1000. I look forward to working with all of you this year. Please give them a hand for all the work that they're going to do. People can also find information about MID services at downtownseattle.org/MID and profiles of all of our ambassadors of the month, people producing impressive results on our streets on a daily basis. They're nominated by their peers and supervisors who state their case for what sets these individuals apart. And it's typically a sense of teamwork, consistent attendance, sustained superior performance. Each year from that group of ambassadors, the Ambassador of the Year is selected. This is a big deal. It's my pleasure today to introduce our Ambassador of the Year for 2021-2022. In addition to that title, there's a cash award and some well-deserved paid time off. This year's award goes to Nick Ortiz. Nick, please come up. So Nick started as a safety ambassador in 2018, and his teammates say he consistently goes above and beyond what's expected. He's shown himself to be kind and compassionate to all, whether in the office or out in the field. He was promoted to assistant supervisor in February of this year, and we are all very grateful for his hard work and dedication to the downtown. I spoke with Nick. I had the opportunity to meet him before we started today, and his older brother talked him into coming here from California, so our gain, California's loss. And his favorite thing about the job is riding the bikes, helping people out, and most importantly, meeting people from all over the world in this cosmopolitan area. What does he do in his free time if he has any? He loves to camp. So anyway, it is a huge honor to stand here with you, and let's all give one more round of applause to Nick. And one more round of applause to all of the ambassadors with us today. Thank you so much.
stay safe, and we'll see you downtown.
You've already positioned this city for success.
People don't come here and just pass through in their career. They come here and they decide they like it, and it becomes their city.
Downtown Seattle, C-Town. Wish you were here. Love, C-Town.
Please welcome DSA President and CEO John Scholes.
Nick, congratulations. Well deserved, well deserved. Well, hello everybody, good afternoon. It's so great to be with you. It's great to be back in this space. Thank you, Amazon, John Shetler and Ben Grace, the whole team here. You make it so easy to work with you and to deliver a great experience for everybody. We are grateful for the opportunity to be back. We're sort of like that relative that you let stay in your spare bedroom once and then continues to want to come back and hang with you. So, but I love this meeting space, and it's just great to see things like this happening in our city, to see signs of progress. I was walking around this building yesterday morning with my dog, Zoe, and it was so great to see the banana stand back. The Amazon-sponsored community banana stand. Free bananas are back in Seattle. I don't even like bananas. Bananas are disgusting, if you ask me, but I felt so good to see that sign of life back in our city, these things that we take for granted. And the banana stand was one of them. It was great to see it back. I also stood in a line for coffee the other day. Just to see lines back at the coffee shop felt so good. Used to get annoyed at those people that had the complicated orders in front of you. I'm like, take your time. I was like, are you sure you don't need it extra hot? Are you sure you don't want some light foam? It just feels good to see these signs of progress. I almost got taken out by a scooter on the sidewalk the other day too. Didn't care. Just happy to see people on the sidewalk. We should be riding the scooters in the bike lanes though. I'm a scooter rider and I ride it in the bike lane. Let's all ride them in the bike lane where they're supposed to be. So anyway, yes, a clap for scooters in the bike lane. So in my time with you today, I want to just report a little bit on the progress that we are seeing beyond banana stands and coffee lines, et cetera, and also talk about some of our investments and areas of focus in the year ahead. But first, I just want to say thank you. Before the pandemic, I believed I had the best job in Seattle. I stand before you today saying, I've got the best job in Seattle. There were a couple of nights during the pandemic I didn't think I had the best job in Seattle. But I have the best job because of all of you, because of the investment and engagement of our members and property owners, our partners, and our team, this incredible team that I'm humbled to work with every day. So I just want to start with gratitude, just thank you. This is a city and a civic community, a business community, a nonprofit community that cares deeply about its downtown and wants to work together to make it a thriving and terrific place. So just thank you. And then I want to also just highlight two individuals and sort of collectively on our behalf recognize and thank them. They are coming to the end of their careers and have made really incredible commitments to both our organization but also the broader community here. Carolyn Tao, who's our Director of Member Relations and has been with us since 1999. Someone who's retiring. She says next month, I told our board that I'm going through the stages of grief and I'm stuck on denial, but she says she's leaving next month. And she doesn't like public recognition. She probably ran for the door or the bar or both, but she's somewhere out there in here, over there. There she is. And she really built, and evolved DSA's membership programming, a hand behind all of these events, a lot of the programming that is brought to all of you, and before DSA was at Nordstrom, and really has brought the high level of customer service that Nordstrom trains in you to our membership experience. High touch, personable, and we are going to miss her. She leaves big shoes. So thank you, Carolyn. And she'll be heading over to the other side of the mountains to Wenatchee with her husband, Greg, and is saying she's sort of semi-retired. So we'll see, but we hope she comes through and says hi every now and then. The second individual I want to just thank and recognize is Paul Ambrose, the CEO of Plymouth Housing, who will be retiring later this summer after nearly 30 years serving as Plymouth's leader. Plymouth and Paul have become sort of synonymous, and we and thousands of folks in this community that have had a place to live and important services to stabilize their lives owe Paul a huge debt of gratitude and thanks for his incredible career here in the city, recognized as a national leader on housing first and the response to homelessness. Paul served on our board, has served on our board since 2011, also on our executive committee, and leaves as well really big shoes to fill over at Plymouth. So thank you, Paul, for your service to our city. I think Paul's over here somewhere. There is Paul. Thank you, Paul. So we've come together over these last 2 years as a community, and we come together today because we recognize and share the belief in the importance of our downtown, of a healthy downtown, of a place that fuels innovation and human connection, of this shared sense of community and experience that we get from showing up here. And it's a place that we come to raise our voices, like many did over this last weekend in protest. It's a place we come together to celebrate, as so many did after that incredible announcement on June 16th that Seattle would be one of 10 host cities for the World Cup in 2026. And I think one of the co-chairs of that bid, Maya Mendoza-Ekstrom, the CEO of the Sounders, is in the house today. We owe Maya and her partner in crime, Beth Knox, a huge debt of gratitude for all their work to bring the World Cup here. And so that's what downtown's about. It's about us understanding our shared humanity. And there's so many forces out there today, so much discord, and so many forces calibrated to sort of remind us of our differences and to divide us. And downtowns are about bringing us together to understand what we share in common, but also to celebrate our differences, to celebrate diversity and variety. That's what downtowns are about. That's why all this matters. And every healthy city has a healthy and thriving downtown. And downtown is really everybody's neighborhood. That's why we're here together. That's why we are making these investments. That's what matters in this journey that we're on after a really difficult 2 years to renew and reimagine this place. And we're making progress. Your investments, your engagement, your involvement over this last year are paying dividends. And no doubt we still face a host of challenges out there throughout the greater downtown. And we've had to hold our vision and optimism in one hand and the reality of those challenges in the other, right? But we, no doubt, are in a much stronger position today in this downtown than we were a year ago, and certainly than we were 3 or 4 months ago. And our indirect investments and programs, your involvement, your engagement, our advocacy are making a difference out on the streets and throughout this neighborhood. And I want to share just a little bit about where we stand today and share a couple of the data points that we track on a weekly basis. And this is data that we get from a subscription service that is tracking cell phone pings throughout the downtown. We don't know who you're calling or who you're texting, but it helps us understand visitors, workers, and residents in the downtown. And we get that data every Wednesday, and it's uploaded to our website. So we've got a good real-time sense of who's downtown, how many people are downtown, and how do we compare to last year and the year before and in 2019. So when we look at total foot traffic, we've seen a marked recovery since the beginning of this year. And each of these data points compare us to the same month in 2019, so a baseline of sorts. But you can see strong progress when it comes to total foot traffic. So this is residents, visitors, and workers in downtown. When it comes to hotel demand, we've had an incredible recovery, particularly over the last month. You can see here, this is not occupancy, but total demand. So room nights sold in our downtown hotels compared to that same point in 2019. And the first week of June, our partners and friends at Visit Seattle tell us, Seattle had the highest hotel occupancy in the country, higher than 24 other major urban markets. And occupancy the first 3 weeks of June has averaged about 85% in downtown. And you look at what 2019 was, right about 88%. So this should all give us, I think, a lot of joy and optimism here that there's a bunch of other people from other places that believe in the brand of Seattle. They want to come here. They believe in the fundamentals, and they're showing up and spending money. And this number has really been driven by not just cruise and convention, which we value and is terrific, but a lot of leisure and group business as well. So it's very diversified and spread out. The worker number has lagged a bit from, I think, what we'd all hope. But over the last several weeks, we've started to see some movement. Since January, we've seen about a 27% increase in the number of folks that are showing up to work in downtown 3 days a week or more. So that's how the algorithm on this subscription works. So there's some people that are here a day or two that aren't captured here, but we've seen a little bit of movement. We're at about the national average of 40% or so of what we would expect in a normal week or month. And we're outpacing just a bit San Francisco and LA. And a couple other data points worth noting. We've got more people living downtown today than ever before. We just pulled the numbers this past week. 104,000 people within the greater downtown are calling downtown home, more than prior to the pandemic. So that's an incredible number, and again, I think a display of confidence in our community about the fundamentals of downtown, people being able to recognize certainly the challenges and turbulence we face, but to look past that to a brighter future. We've also seen some marked improvement in the amount of both violent crime and property crime in downtown. Safety, making sure downtown is safe and welcoming and secure for everybody is our number one focus. It's got to be the number one focus of the city and having a great experience. And we've seen a 20% reduction in violent crime in April and May compared to the average that we were seeing in January, February, and March. We've seen more than a 30% reduction in property crime in that same period. So the average on a monthly basis for January, February, and March compared to April and May. So we're making progress. We should not declare victory there. We've got a long, long way to go. And this progress, I think, reflects that, Seattle and our downtown have incredibly strong fundamentals and assets. And we have assets that, other cities around our country would just die for, that they envy. And as an organization, as we enter our 22-23 fiscal year, we are in a very healthy and strong financial position. As Lisa noted, we ended this past year with 98% collections of the special tax assessment that downtown property owners pay. That's an incredible number. Our member retention was nearly 90%, and we welcomed nearly 70 new members. We maintained our operating reserves, and we have healthy unrestricted reserves that we are deploying and investing to continue to support downtown's renewal and recovery. And while we've made progress, we recognize, yes, there's still a lot of work ahead, and we're competing with urban areas across this country and across the world to renew and reimagine this place. We're competing for convention business, for leisure business, for employers, for small businesses. We've got to be on our game. So here's where we will be focused in the year ahead as we start our fiscal year next month. We're going to be increasing our investment and continuing our investment in unarmed security with our partners at Iron and Oak who are here today to increase the presence and safety and security within our downtown. We recently increased our investment from about 500 hours a week of security services with Iron and Oak to more than 800 hours on a weekly basis. And we also will maintain our contract with the Seattle Police Department for off-duty foot and bike patrols. This is ultimately not the way in which we should be delivering safety and security services within our city or downtown. We need the city to fully commit to rebuilding and restoring the Seattle Police Department. We will be making these investments in the meantime and continue to advocate that they take those important steps to do just that. We'll be deploying 18 new cleaning trikes so that we are more mobile, we're faster, we can get to those messes before you see them. And so 18 trikes will be hitting the streets over the next couple of months. We're taking care of a 285 square block area, as Lisa noted, Denny down to Pioneer Square, I-5 to the waterfront. That's a lot of geography and a lot of hills to cover. So our team's going to be more mobile on cleaning trikes as we enter the coming year here. We're going to be increasing our ambassador wages by $3 an hour, taking our entry wage. Taking our entry wage from $17 an hour to $20 an hour, and then a $3 an hour across the board increase for all of our ambassador teams, and working hard to fill 20 vacant positions on our cleaning team that we enter the fiscal year with. This is in recognition of the incredible work our team is out there doing each and every day, and the challenging labor market that we find ourselves in. We also are investing in a housing specialist and a case management specialist to support our own team members that are coming out of homeless situations, coming out of experiencing homelessness, to stabilize their housing as they come to work and join our team, and to support their needs as an employee of ours on our team. We will continue our investment in events and parks programming and all kinds of fun things happening in our outdoor public spaces and our parks. We really want to continue to leverage our outdoor spaces, make sure they're active, that there's great things going on for everybody, positive activities. So this includes concerts and happy hours in Westlake and Occidental, other things in Bell Street and throughout downtown, and also includes the kickoff next week on July 5th of our concert series, Downtown Summer Sounds, which will bring nearly 40 concerts throughout downtown through early September. So a big investment, continued investment in our programming in parks and public space to make them safe, welcoming, active, and enjoyable and delightful spaces for everybody to enjoy. We're going to continue our investment in virtual programming. You all have tuned in quite a bit to a lot of the content and virtual programming that we've produced over these last 2 years. We've had more engagement than ever. We're going to continue to provide that and do that and make it easy for you to access content and panels and speakers and get actionable information that's useful to you in your daily lives and in your own organizations and businesses. But we're also going to bring back in-person programming. Nothing beats getting us all together. So we will bring back in-person member programming in the coming year so that we can be a reconnector for you, help you reconnect with those colleagues outside of your organization, within the downtown community that maybe you've just seen in 2 dimensions over the last 2 years. We will be increasing our investment in public policy and advocacy, building on the success that we had as an organization and a community in the elections last year, elevating your voices on the issues that are most critical to the renewal and recovery of our downtown. Progress to help those that are on the streets, progress to make sure downtown is safe and welcoming for everybody. Those will be and continue to be our advocacy priorities, and we're increasing our investment so that we can be an even stronger voice for all of you at City Hall and with our municipal partners. We're going to continue to promote Seattle and help evolve the perception of our downtown. Downtown's no longer a ghost town. The sidewalks aren't empty. It's not boarded up. It's not all closed down. There's some folks that still believe that. We're going to continue to push back against that narrative with facts and information, and also help people understand what is open, what's going on, what are the events, to tell that story and to tell that narrative throughout our city and community. And finally, our team at Commute Seattle that supports employers and commuters and property owners will be increasing its investment and focus on providing transit service consultation to the property owners in downtown so you can provide the best transportation benefits and alternatives to your tenants. We've got to stay committed to the transit system in downtown. Downtown doesn't work without a robust and thriving transit system. And we got to get people back on the bus, back on the train, and those buses and trains and stations got to be clean, they've got to be safe, they've got to be great experiences for all of us. So we are going to continue to invest in the services, support, and education and consultation to help you make it easy for people to make those choices. So in total, these investments are really about enhancing the experience downtown. The experience is job number one. If it's not a great experience, people make different decisions. We want them to choose downtown, whether it's to visit, to live, or to work. So we're focused on enhancing the experience. We're also focused, as I noted, on improving the perception. We see that as a primary role of ours, is changing the perception out there. A lot of that is what we say, but a lot of it is what we do. And then finally, reconnecting people with downtown and with each other. That is a role that we want to continue to play as we emerge from this pandemic and we enter our fiscal year. A number of our team members will be out on the other side of that wall in the back hallway to share more information and answer your questions about our cleaning program, our security program, our safety and hospitality, the events we're doing in the parks, our Downtown Summer Sounds concert series. They'll be available to you during the networking reception to answer your questions, and we hope you will take advantage of that. So as I conclude, I was reflecting the other day on some of the recent reports from Edelman and PricewaterhouseCoopers and others on sort of the erosion of trust within our country and really throughout the world, and particularly the erosion of trust within the media, the government, and other institutions and systems. And those same reports have found that trust in business and trust in the private sector, particularly over these last 2 years, has only risen. The trust that employees have for their own companies and leadership in the private sector generally, and the trust that the public has as well. And they have that trust because they believe that the strategies and actions taken by the public sector are effective and deliver results. Results they see in the consumption of services and goods that are produced by the private sector and in other ways as well. And I think this is an opportunity for us in the nonprofit and business community here in Seattle at this moment that we find ourselves in, coming out of a very difficult 2 years that has been challenging for our downtown, for communities, for individuals, to lean into that, to lean into the trust that employees have in us, to lean into the trust that the public has in us. And with that trust comes a lot of expectations as well. And I think this is a moment to really double down on that, as an organization certainly, but all of us collectively as individuals. And to ask ourselves, how are we going to spend and deploy that trust equity in service of some of the challenges facing this downtown, facing our community, facing our city over these next several months and several years. We should not let this opportunity go to waste. I think we have a responsibility to really lean in and double down. Certainly the renewal of the MID is a big part of that. But I challenge all of us to think of other ways as individuals within our own organizations that we can deploy and leverage that equity, that trust equity that the public and employees have in us as the private sector in this moment. With a lot of challenges, a lot of discord, a lot of crisis that we face both in our community and country. This is an opportunity, and one I think we must seize as we work to renew and reimagine the heart of our city. So I want to end where I began and just saying thank you. I have a lot of gratitude for each of you, the investment, your engagement, and the part you play in helping to renew this great place that we all love. So thank you for being here today, for the investments and engagement over these last couple of years. It's time to get a drink, get a bite, reconnect with somebody you haven't seen in a while, and listen to the great tunes of a great Seattle band, local band, the Smoky Brights. And I look forward to getting a drink with all of you. Thank you so much.